There we go. Good evening. Welcome to our fourth and final speaker for our Lent series on embodying faith and embodying love. As we've said the last couple of weeks, the embodying faith part comes to the book we've been sharing with you all, Godly in the Head and Sarah in prayer. We'll have a chance to use that again during our worship time in just a little bit. The second part, embodying love, we are turning over to our guests. How do we share love with our neighbors, especially maybe some who might be easier to overlook with some of the things going on in their lives? Sometimes it's easy to just say, here, other services, or send a check, or, our guest the first week, the Moments of Hope said, you can just send it back yourself on the back. I did my job. Well, we're hoping to hear some stories that put some flesh on the bones of this service for our neighbors. So, Shirnell Lewis, right? Lewis. All right. This is Shirnell Lewis from Hanover Safe Place, and I'm going to stop talking. So, thank you.
You all hear me okay? Yeah, talk very close. Well, good afternoon or evening, everyone. So thank you all so much for inviting us here today to talk about Hanover Safe Place and who we are, how you can help, and a little bit about my personal journey as well. So just a little bit about Hanover Safe Place. We are a local nonprofit agency serving survivors of domestic and sexual violence of Hanover County in the town of Ashland. Our office is located in the town of Ashland, and we've been in operation since 1994. So we just celebrated 30 years of operation. So we started off as a task force, and it was like a few people, and now we're a whole agency providing services for all of our clients that we serve. So our mission is to prevent sexual and domestic violence, provide services to those affected, and create awareness and community support for the services. So I mentioned that we offer wraparound services for our clients. So we see clients that are in all different stages of leaving their abusive relationships. So that's whether before they have left or after they have left, they're still welcome to receive our services. So I just want to go over our services in a little bit more detail so that you're a little bit more aware of what we offer. So first thing we'd like to just mention is that we offer a 24/7 confidential hotline. So if there's someone that needs to talk to a crisis advocate or a crisis lead, they can call this hotline at 2 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's always someone there to answer the phone to give the So our hotline is connected with the regional hotline of domestic and sexual violence agencies in the Greater Richmond area called Empowerment. So how that would work, so if someone was to call the shelter, call the hotline, the crisis advocate will get in contact with us, and we will get in contact with the client to set up services. One of our other services that we offer is community case management. So with this in the service, the case manager does safety planning, helps connect clients with resources that can help them prevent these type of barriers they may have, get families connected to free summer camps, Christmas gifts, backpack drives, all these different things. Even within our case management services, we offer parenting skills as well. So if there's a parent that might have a child that has behavioral problems, they can contact the case manager and they can get resources or the skills tips on how to improve in those areas. We offer court advocacy services. Now, this is not a lawyer or legal representative, and they cannot provide legal advice. However, the court advocate has an office at the Hanover County Court System, and during that, so say there's a client that comes in and would like to get a protection order, they can go meet with Jordan, our court advocate, to get assistance on filling out protection orders. Also within this role, this court advocate also provides court accompaniment. So there is an ongoing case that they just need emotional support with, our court advocate will provide them that support. So I did mention that they're not a lawyer, however, we got connections with legal resources that can help them out. So we have a connection with legal aid that actually comes to our office once a week to do free legal referrals or lowering that. free services for. We also offer emergency shelter. So this is when people are in imminent danger within 72 hours of an abusive, situation. So while they're in our shelter, we understand that this is very crisis oriented and a very sensitive thing. Within the service, they meet with the case manager. And it doesn't say that this is like a crisis situation. This also means that, we try to take it slow with them too, right? We're recognizing that you just left this very scary situation. And we try to build that support and that resilience with them as they meet with the case manager. We also offer 24/7 staff there, so if they need to come talk to somebody in the middle of the night, or if we were not feeling safe, they can always have that support with our staff that's at the shelter. A part of our shelter program, we also offer, rapid housing program. So that means that we can help get clients connected to housing, pay for first month's rent and security deposit. And while they're, say, if we get someone rehoused into a new home, a safe home, they will still work with us. They will still work with us with case management, still helping them find resources they may need for financial resources or anything regarding, their families or food, whatever, we are here to help them out. We also offer individual and group counseling. We are seeing people at the age of 5. And basically we have 2 counselors on one side that works with, that are trauma informed, works on the crises that they're experiencing and helping them build coping skills and things they need to build with their resilience and to move on with their life. And then the education and prevention program. So that's what my program does. So we go out to the community, we share awareness who we are, and do workshops on the issues that we started. Our prevention program is something new to the agency. So we just got funding for this in 2023. And essentially what the prevention program is geared towards youth. And it's more so just to help us prevent domestic and sexual violence. So getting into the youth early, to kind of talk about self-esteem, confidence, what are red flags of healthy relationships? And that doesn't mean just romantic, also friendships as well. So the hope is with this prevention program, we can aim to have a brighter future without domestic and sexual violence. So what's my personal connection to this work? To get a little personal, I remember experiencing this domestic violence against my mom and just feeling very hopeless of not knowing what to do. I can't do anything, I'm feeling hopeless. And just, I also have a auntie that also went through the same thing. And I made a vow, I was like, okay, when I get older, I want to do something to help, right? Because I felt so hopeless when I was a child. I couldn't do anything. I hate seeing my mom cry. I hate seeing my auntie just be hurt. So, in undergrad, I took a violence against women's course. And this kind of opened my eyes up because I felt alone during that time. I didn't think no one else was going through this situation, but when I took the class, I was like, oh, this is something epidemic. This happens everywhere. So I had my first internship at the James House, was as a agency that's sort of like mine at Hanover Safe Place, but it's in the Petersburg area. And I volunteered there, my junior year and my senior year. So I was able to get my hands-on experience with that, and I was like, okay, when I graduate, this is what I want to do. So in 2016, I began my professional career in doing this work at Hanover Safe Place. So I have worked in a slew of different positions. I've been a case manager, a shelter manager. I have worked in the rapid housing program, and now I am doing community work where I'm just spreading awareness about who we are. So this work is, it can be very hard and challenging, but I think what kind of keeps me going in this work is just seeing my clients' resilience, just seeing how they just overcome something so hard, and when all the odds are against them is stacked up, and they just still continue to push through, continue to still thrive, continue to still show up for their children, and that really inspires me. Just to see their resilience is what keeps me going. I did want to mention, but the services kind of go back, all the services that we do offer are confidential and free. Um. So. So seeing survivors wholly as a whole individual, right? So like a lot of times we think that survivors of domestic and sexual violence, they're weak, they won't be able to do anything once they leave this relationship, but they're more than that, right? They're very resilient in the things that they can actually overcome. So survivors, they don't just look like women, they look like men. They are parents, professionals, community members, church members, friends, students, right? Domestic violence, this epidemic of domestic and sexual violence does not just have one specific gender, one specific race. It looks like in all sexualities, all race, all genders, it doesn't have a discrimination at all. So survivors have strength, courage, and ability to actually rebuild their lives. And we just help and step in to build that life, be that light for them, to provide them that support they need as they're rebuilding their lives. Some common misconceptions about the work. So there's a lot of times when people believe that, okay, why don't they just leave, right? It's easy for them to leave, it's, you know, this person is hitting them, they can leave. It was that easy, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people were just looking for the first time that they've been abused, right? But with that, it's more so, the statistics show that it takes 7 times for someone to leave an abusive relationship. There was, the strength that it takes to build up to leave it takes a lot of time, because you think about it with domestic violence, in sexual violence, it's a lot about power and control. A lot of times people find themselves trapped up into this circle of, okay, the honeymoon phase, everything is great, he loves me, she loves me, and I feel so great, right? But then the tension starts to build, where it gets really tense. Oh, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, doesn't feel good. And then the abusive incident happens. And then it's like, okay, I'm ready to leave. I can't take this anymore. And then it comes back around and it's the honeymoon phase. Oh, I won't do this again. I'm so sorry. I promise you. And then when you're in love, it's like, okay, I will believe you. Like, if you're not gonna do this again, it's, you know, I believe you. And it keeps happening. It's a cycle. And sometimes you just have to step out of that cycle. It's like, oh wait, this person's never gonna change. But sometimes it takes a long time for that to happen. Another misconception is domestic violence only happens to certain communities or to just the women. That's completely false. It happens to anyone, as I did mention earlier. Abusers are easily to be spotted. Like, they're just always looking mad and angry. No, there's a lot of abusers that are very charming individuals, and some people I'm even shocked, like, oh wow, by his outside appearance, I would have never assumed that this person is actually abused. It's only domestic violence if it's physical. That's also a misconception, because a lot of abuse is mental. And I feel like the mental is also hurts way worse than it does the physical. How I always used to tell my audience is like, okay, the physical wounds, you can see those heal. But those emotional wounds, people live with those for a long time if you're not taking care of them, right? So, just kind of just raising awareness about that it's more than just physical, it's also emotional, it's also financial, it's also sexual, where people can be abused. And then lastly, how to get involved. So our main thing, like a part of our mission was to spread awareness. That's a major way to get involved, is spreading awareness about who we are. Whether it's just to spread awareness about, okay, well, I met with Hanover Safe Place today and they do some amazing work at Hanover. Or just if you have a friend or family member or coworker or whoever may need services, just providing them with our hotline number. There's also, you can follow us on social media accounts. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, so all throughout this month, we are doing posts about statistics about it, in different parts of sexual assault. And you can follow that. We also post there our events that we're hosting and just other agency updates on there. So you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Hanover Safe Place. You can attend our events, that's major, right? So, during this month, we have a lunch and learn on building resilience. And we are hosting a month-long, fundraiser called Miles for Survivors. So how that will look like is, individuals are pledging how many miles they're gonna walk for the month of April, and whenever that month, other that mile marker that they're gonna walk, they would donate that amount. So say if you wanna pledge 10 miles, I'm walking 10 miles, then you don't donate $10. And lastly, helping us out with donating, that we accept used in new clothing, household items. We have a lot of clients that are, leaving the shelter and going to their own. So they need household stuff, so pots and pans that you're not using, laundry detergent, not laundry detergent, laundry baskets or OTVs, microwave, stuff that people can actually use as a starter pack to start their homes. Hosting a collection drive of, food items, food items, toiletries, cleaning supplies, and any other things that y'all might think of. Diapers, we have a lot of diapers and wipes collections as well. And to make a financial contribution. We also offer volunteer positions as well. And mainly with volunteers that we need help with just spreading our work, like helping us out with community events, tabling events, coming out and helping us speak on our behalf. We have fundraisers that's in June that we probably need help with, and every December we host an event called Deck the Halls that's in Ashland, and it's like a wreath-making event, very cool event, and we always need volunteers for that too. So that is a little bit about the Hanover Safe Place. So is there any questions? Yes.
Would you be able to share a story confidentially about maybe somebody that you provided services for the safe place that really had an impact on you?
Yeah. So yeah, so when I was a shelter director, I had a client that came in with four kids. All right, so very detrimental situation, leaving her husband for the first time, and just to see her resilience and working hard with 4 kids, saving money, working the program, and within eight weeks of her being there, she was able to get rehoused into her new house safely without knowing. We was able to get her assigned to the address confidentiality program. So this person could find her, we was able to help her get a protection order. We was able to help get her connected to legal resources that can help her provide, to legally divorce her husband. But that case will always stick to me because through the program, it can be very hard to stick with it. It's hard. It's hard to change your life. It's hard to, to leave this person that you love so much. And a lot of times people go back. But to see this person that was 4 kids and had a lot of things that was stacked up against her, saying that she couldn't make it, and she actually did. And that happened probably 6 or 7 years ago, and that's still sticks with me to this day. To see how broken she was when she first came in, and how she pulled herself up through counseling and through support of the shelter staff, with support of the agency as a whole. She was able to rebuild her life within that 8-week period of time. So that's something that will always stick with me.
So have you followed, like, if it's been like about a year, you'll reach out or have any contact with those families? So you can see if, they still need anything or refer them to another agency.
So we don't personally reach out to them, but we always encourage them to reach out to them. All right, so we have a lot of clients that will leave if you come back. Or they will leave, it's like, hey, actually, I don't really need these services, but I just need, can you give me this resource? So actually that happens a lot of times where clients will come back to reach back out to us to get more services or to connect with us more. So, and sometimes that look like they may successfully move on and then they find themselves in another situation where they would need to get back into services again. So yeah, that's happening. But it's never us reaching out to them. Yeah.
Have you had a lot of increase, or is it kind of at a status quo? You started in what, 94, so I'm sure it.
So I can talk about my son being here. So from 2016 to now, arguably, I have seen a decrease. Right. Now, we don't know if that's because of COVID. It made it a little bit harder for people to reach out to get help. But I remember when I was in the shelter, probably around 2017, 2018, shelter was always full. And what we kind of recognized is like during certain months or seasons, we would see more of an uptick. So summertime and right at the beginning of the new year, because right after the holidays, that's when we would see a lot of it uptick, the shelter requests and all these different things. So now, when I say we see a decrease, because we don't see as many families, which is also surprising too, right? But I'm hoping it's like it's in a good way where they're getting other resources, right? But we see more individuals than we saw families back in 2018, 2017.
So is all you're funding through grants or?
So all through grants, community, fundraisers or donors funding, yeah, so all federally, both federally granted grants that we receive, some local as well. Yeah. And a lot of our, because we have a food pantry in our office, so we definitely rely heavily on our community to provide us with those things that we can provide for our clients, like food drives, toiletries, cleaning supplies, all these different things. And we just disperse them from our office to our shelter, because we have both community clients and shelter clients that come into our services.
How long does the average person stay in the shelter as they're getting services?
Yeah, so we always start with 30 days. That's never solid because how unrealistic is it just 30 days? You throw life over in 30 days, especially in this economy. So we start with 30 days. I think it just really depends. So like we have clients in there for 3 months, we have clients in there for 30 days, we have clients longer than 3 months. So I think it's just really on a case by case. But we start everyone off with 30 days, and then the folks that continue to work and do the work, because especially with getting housing, in this economy, housing is not cheap anymore, like what it once was. So of course, that's going to take a little bit of time to build your savings up and all these different things. So, so you need to take it case by case. Yeah.
You provide and housing for men as well at the same location.
Yes. So our shelter is not a communal shelter, it's more so hotel based. So, we're able to keep clients separated. So we accept men, women, those who are identified LGBTQ communities into our shelter and families. Yeah.
As serving 40 years as a pastor, I'm retired now. I've seen a lot of these cases don't expect that it's everybody you expect, but in my ministry, I saw 2 pastors that were involved. And the worst case was we happened to come home to her mother's house for a vacation. And a roommate that she had had in college showed up at the front door, unbeknownst to, she didn't even know we were there, and came with 1 pair of underwear. And we had to, her husband was so violent, she was terrified.
Yeah.
So we were going to my parents' house, 80 miles away, 80 miles away, got her with us, took her down there. Both sets of parents loved her. And my parents helped us get her to Lutheran Social Services, which does a lot of the same thing. And they got her a bus ticket to go back to home. Now, a few weeks later, her husband showed up at her mother's door demanding to know where she was. Now they had, because she had taken the old car.
Yeah.
But somehow they got some information to him that it's parked in this parking lot. But we know now, great.
Yeah, like, that's amazing work. Thank you for doing that, right? Because our community needs that. Because not everyone's gonna have access or feel comfortable with contacting random people that they don't know. They may just wanna go to their supports. And unfortunately, it, like I said, I have heard a lot of cases like that. Maybe thought about the walk-in we had. This remind me of like technology, how technology has been very scary these days with domestic and sexual violence. It makes it worse. Client came in and just saying that, she was afraid to be there because she felt like she was being trapped. And, we had to make it really quick. Gotta be very discreet in those types of situations, but that's the beauty of having this type of service that we have, so we was able to get connected with a friend. A friend was able to pass messages along, and so we was able to get her somewhere safe. So. I'm doing the work, you're doing the work, it's like this is all very needed. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
I had a question. So when I was in twenties, I had a friend that was being abused by her husband and he literally found. So I guess the question is, what do you suggest when you have someone like that in your family, or friend, but also she had found a place to go, but she'd come to visit me for something, go to the store, but then her husband showed up at my door. So what are you supposed to do in those kind of situations? Like I didn't know what to do because he was there and she had just left.
Yeah. So let me make sure I'm understanding. So like, friend comes to your space and husband shows up.
Yes,
and
yeah.
You don't know what to do with this.
Mhm.
Because the main thing is like, when these type of situations are tricky because, yeah, we want you to be helpful, but also too, we want to keep you safe.
Right, that's what I was, right.
And people are unpredictable. So if you can send them on a wild goose chase, do that, right? Those situations are hard. Did he know that she was actually there?
She wasn't actually, I mean, she had been there like 10 minutes earlier and she had left. And he knew, because I was friends with both of them, so they
Yeah.
were partner. He showed up and I kind of just said, oh, I think she went to the grocery store or something, knowing that she had gone to her place.
Yeah.
So I was like terrified, didn't know what I was supposed to do. I mean, is there a place for someone like that to get contact and get support for themselves
Yeah,
as the friend?
yeah, for sure. That could definitely look like calling like the hotline. Hey, I need emotional support right now. I just witnessed this very scary thing while protecting my friend. What you did was right. Then I'm all somewhere else on the opposite direction. But it's always number one key is keeping yourself safe. So if you want to know, you have to keep yourself safe. And it's scary. Hotline is always there for you. Our service is only is for those who are directly impacted by it. But the hotline is available for any and everybody.
I read a couple of months ago that one of the easiest things for someone to give is a suitcase, because often the kids wind up there with everything in trash bags.
Yeah, and we have like a bunch of suitcases that people have given us, because what, a lot of times, like the person that you helped, just showed up with the clothes in the back. A lot of times that happens. So that's why we offer have, a stack of clothes in our office. We have a bunch of suitcases in there too, so like, suitcases definitely is one of those things. And with the safety planning that we do encourage our clients to create, bags or just put it somewhere safe. Create a code word for somebody, so therefore, you know, if they're talking to a friend, the code word is bananas. Hey, when I'm texting you bananas, contact the police or come take me somewhere. So yeah, the suitcase is definitely one of those things that we do with that.
So you said you use hotels for shelters?
Yes.
And how do you keep that, like, information confidential and not?
So we have a relationship with hotels. The goal is to move frequently because of course, it can get out. We definitely take the confidentiality of the hotel space very, very sacred. And that if we find out that a client has, breached that confidentiality, unfortunately, we will have to discharge that client. Not to say that they can't get our services again, but it's like you putting the rest of our clients at risk. And that's kind of defeating the whole process. So we have like safety measures in place that can help us with the confidentiality. But the main things like, yeah, of course, it'd be there for a certain amount of time. It could just get out. So the goal is to move, let's say our students to that level. Yeah.
Anybody else? Do you have any resources, or can you direct us to a certain place to learn more?
Yes, so I don't have any resources, but I can definitely bring some by. If anybody has any questions, you can reach out to me. I don't have any business cards either, I'm just paying the vibes. And, but Pastor Ryan can send out my information, you can always shoot me an email, if there's like more information about the events that we have, you can reach out to me. My email is community@hanoversafeplace.com, and, I'll be happy to direct you to, any type of flyers we have, and so I'll see the flyers that we have with you.
And so I'll have it inside, Reverend Catherine's got our souls.
Perfect.
That's double.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you all for your time.
We'll take a moment to set up for worship. So hang tight. We'll keep going.